What do you mean? When your mind is chattering.
Well, if the mind is chattering, why would you listen to that? I mean, do you listen to the guy outside who's building a house and the construction workers are over there, with cranes and hammering nails into the sheetrock? Do you listen to that? Why would you listen? What is the point of listening to yourself? I'm not saying it's good.
Isn't that how we're all conditioned?
Well, I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying you should listen to yourself. I'm not saying you shouldn't listen to yourself. I'm saying listen to yourself as you're asking that question, because you're coming at it from a very spiritual, meaningless standpoint. It has no meaning to listen to yourself. What does that even mean? It just, all these, you see, it's just billboards.
It means you're buying into the trap of your mind, right? You're thinking.
So what if I said you shouldn't listen to yourself? Are you going to stop? I mean, there's no relevance to this.
No, I don't think you're going to. I think what it does is, it just kind of goes back to this point. You are a man of truth, right? And a lot of shit that goes on in our mind does the exact opposite. Takes us as far away from that as possible. There's a huge gap between where you live and where people who are sincere and devoted, who want to kind of get at that level. And then, 99.9% of the world. And, I'm hopeful that 3 or 4 people want to find their own truth and will at some point realize that a lot of the shit that's going on in their head is taking them away from that.
Well, it's much more instructive than to discover that the questions that are surfacing are billboards and bumper stickers. It is much more instructive to realize that, because if someone is genuinely interested in the truth, he must begin with where he is. And if one realizes that everything coming out of his mouth is bumper stickers and billboards, then he will begin to see the nature of his own conditioning firsthand, as opposed to trying to do something about something in which he hasn't even come to terms with yet. The looking for solutions is a waste of time. The whole world lives in solutions. And these people called like these solution specialists and all, it's this ridiculous society, it's not about the solution. It's never about the solution. It's really delving into what your issue is. People are addicted to fixes, and they will always be.
And they're afraid of facing the pain because there's almost impossible to get to the truth. Right?
The implication there is that you should face the pain. No, you shouldn't face the pain. Who wants pain? Why would anyone want to face pain? That doesn't do anything. You're already in pain all the time anyways as a human being. Whether you face it or not, it's always there in some form or another. Things are always, you're always getting blindsided by this or that. The market's going down, or, someone said something.
Bitcoin's going down and you were going to be,
there's 6 million arrows being, thrown at you every single day. So what are you going to get by facing it? As if, facing it is this machismo, ego-based, face your fears nonsense from bumper sticker world. Nothing has any meaning. It's all, quite honestly, truth would be that you have a podcast, you don't say anything. Because then you won't say anything nonsense. Because it's everything is nonsense, right? So anything that is related.
But I enjoy our nonsense.
But no, the enjoyment of nonsense is not really valid. I mean, anything that relates to what should I do, and anything that relates to what can someone learn from so-and-so, nobody should put anyone on a pedestal. Okay. Every human being is a completely screwed up human being. Okay. Every human being from top to bottom is totally messed up, just in different ways. So to look at someone else and say, oh, well, I'm going to follow his habits of doing this. You're just basically ingesting their garbage. It's buying a used car. time is well spent when it's examining one's own life without the compulsion of fixing anything, following anything, having ideals to live up to, becoming more improved. But purity, sincerity, and no, sincerity is not good. And if you think it's good, I'm going to tell you it's the worst thing in the world, and I hope you go to hell for doing it if you think it's good. Okay? Nothing is good. Nothing is healthy. It's if something is pure, if something is done from a place of genuineness, organicness, honesty, that isn't good either. But that isn't lying. That is in the direction of truth.